Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. I know it's a little bit early, but let me tell you something, y'all. I have this phenomenal human being that I couldn't wait till our regular programming time to start. So I'm the hostess with the mostest. I am Jacqueline Charles. Jacqueline Charles, the host and the creator and the founder of the Women Are Worthy Network. I created Women Are Worthy, which is my company, because I wanted women to feel that they had a safe space, a positive space where we can talk, laugh, cackle, geeky, kiki. We don't do gossip. We don't do any of that here. And it's no, shade to anyone else who does it. It's just that we don't do that here. We want to, create a positive impact into everyone's life. Our tagline is called, y'all ready? We're all in the same book, just different chapters. Bam!
Yes, I love that. I love that.
So, without further ado, we have the wonderful, the amazing Jasmine Jackson. Let me tell you something. When she got that name, okay, isn't that like a star name? Isn't that like the name Jasmine Jackson? It just rolls off your tongue, And I'm always finding wonderful women who are all about supporting and just controlling their lives, being the director of their lives. So Jasmine has gone from hell and back. When I say hell and back, I mean from hell and back. Mm-hmm. And she's here now. She's not just surviving, she's thriving. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what healed looks like, okay? Take a look at that pretty face. Take a look at that pretty spirit. That's what healed looks like. Jasmine has suffered insurmountable setbacks. She's going to be sharing her journey with us and how she's surviving and thriving. And when I tell y'all she's doing amazing things, I'm talking about this is a woman who was a dancer. And now I'm telling you, PhD, y'all, doctor, excuse me.
Not yet.
Oh, right. She's still going, but we're gonna put that out there. Absolutely. Okay. Dr. Jasmine, okay, Dr. Jasmine Jackson. Mm-hmm. She also does real estate. We're gonna be talking about mental health. I can't say anything else about her because let me tell y'all why. I had to take a sip because her resume is yay long and I can't, okay? So without further ado, we want to welcome Miss, the one and only Jasmine Jackson.
Hi, thank you for having me on here today.
It's a pleasure. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is because so many women are struggling with mental health. Mm-hmm. So many women don't know or don't understand their worth, their self-worth, and that they're worthy. Hence our show, Women Are Worthy, right? And it's so good when you see someone who's successful, but sometimes you don't know the backstory. Mm-hmm. You don't know what it took to get where they are. We're just seeing the glitz, the glamour, the Mercedes, the BMW, the beautiful homes. We don't know the tireless nights you've cried. We don't know if some people were, homeless or they were assaulted and things like that. So we'd like you to share your story with us because what I see now is a phenomenal woman. But see, real recognizes real because, again, people new to the show, I'm a survivor of sex trafficking. So I understand. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, Miss, what got you glowing? How did you get from there to here?
Honestly, it literally took me hitting what I say hitting rock bottom. I felt like I hit rock bottom, and I knew that was not the path that I wanted. And that's when I started her healing journey, my healing journey. From an early age, since 14 years old, I've always been in survival mode, and I know a lot of African American women they live that. So taking care of my mom and my nephew, pretty much not being able to be a child. I've always had to be an adult, make adult decisions. And so that's where it started at 14, where a lot of the unresolved trauma, now that I'm an adult, I know that a lot of my unresolved trauma started from when I was a kid. It started from, being inappropriately touched by a next door neighbor, someone that my family trusted for years. When that situation happened, it caused me as a woman to kind of have different feelings that at the time I wasn't aware of what they were. Now that I'm older, I understand why. And pretty much my entire life, like I said, I've always been chasing, hustling. I've always been in hustle survival mode. Graduated and went to the best university in the world, and it's not up for debate, Florida A&M University. And and it was there where I became homeless. Came homeless, sleeping on the floor. I had a great friend who snuck me in and out of the dorms to make sure that I ate and had a roof over my head. Y'all, if anything you guys can name, during my journey, I have definitely, had to do it. Unfortunately, I became an alcoholic at a very young age. Just using different things to cope with what I didn't know at the time was unresolved trauma, was depression. I didn't know anything about that. I grew up in a household where just pray about it. And absolutely I pray about it. But there's nothing wrong with also going to seek help. And so for years, I went on just not even realizing I had depression. I had anxiety. I had abandonment issues because those things were not talked about in our family. So those issues that I had as a little girl got bigger when I got a woman and created multiple issues. So that's kind of like how I hit rock bottom and realized, okay, something's not right.
Okay, so when you mentioned that, because I know what my rock bottom was, but I've always known that I was better than this. Because I remember Oprah saying something. She talked about while she was a newscaster, she felt it, that she was meant to do something bigger, something better. Not that she was conceited or she was better than anyone, but she knew her destiny. So what moment made you flip on the light switch, so to speak?
I think for me, it had to be when I was no longer had any fulfillment. I was always chasing for something different because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I always had to do what I had to do. And for me, that was, I was making good money, but that wasn't my passion. Or, I was around people who had the money, but I still felt alone. So for me, it was just like every time I was chasing after the money or chasing after the things that I felt like my mom told me I should be. Like to this day, my mom's like, you should go to school to be an attorney. I don't want to. Like, that's not my passion, but I've always done things to kind of do things for other people. I always did
people
that.
People pleaser.
Yeah, I always was a people pleaser. And it took me from almost losing my home, almost losing my car. I went from making 6 figures a year to get unemployment, so $12,000 a year. But I still was taking care of my nieces and nephew. I still was taking care of my sister and my mom, because I was always the type of person. If I have $20 and let's say a family member need 19, I can give them that 19 because I know I got the hustle in me. I can make that dollar stretch.
Yo, that's where you and I have that in common, because I don't sweat money. Money is attracted to me. Yep. Where other people, it's just something innately in me. Like, okay, funds are running a little low. I ain't worrying about it because it's gonna happen, because I have true intentions and I'm not chasing the money. The money is when I made that switch, because like making a lot of money to now, okay, I'm doing my own thing. I answer to myself, where entrepreneurship ain't no joke. It's not for the faint of hearts. Okay. You can lose friends, you can lose everything, because when they want to do something, you got to still do your grind, right? You got to get your grind going. So for me, what I've learned is in the past 6 months, like I said, okay, I chopped off my hair. I'm going to do some things different. And I've always done what I wanted to do, but what I, like you, I was not a people pleaser, but I would help any and everyone. I wore my heart on my sleeves. I have this tough exterior, but you know what I'm saying? I'm really soft and mushy on the inside. But what I've learned is, if you are not on the same energy level as myself, we cannot hang out. I have a table. And if you cannot put something on that table, and vice versa, it's not all just me. If we can't educate or uplift each other, I don't need you in my space. Just this week, I cut off a friend because we weren't in alignment. I was constantly giving, and that was the last bit. So I love when you said that, you got the hustle. You just had to get the other stuff together, but you had the hustle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was a boss, but I was broken. I mean, I had the money, I had the cars, I was taking trips, making six figures. But inside, I was a mess. Like I said, I became an alcoholic at a very, 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 very young age due to, losing family members and having some unresolved trauma that at the time I didn't know was unresolved trauma. So it got to a point where I tell anybody, just like your car, when your car run out of gas, what is it going to do? It's going to stop. If that check engine light comes on and you keep riding, what it's going to do? It's going to break down. Your body is the same way. So I had got so used to literally pouring from an empty cup to the point where I had nothing left. Now you get what's over, but what's inside that cup is for me. Mm-hmm. If you got the little droplets after us, you can have that, but you can't have what's in my cup. That's mine.
I like that. What do you do for self-care?
So I love to journal. And I know people be like, how is journaling self-care? For me, it is. It gives me time to actually digest my thoughts, to take them all in. After the writing, I love candles. Candles and being alone. What's one thing I have learned is my me time is my me time. Mm-hmm. So just really being alone in a room, reflecting on the things that I may have done or things I need to do, things that I want to create within my space. Yeah, because a lot of people you say, massages and I want to get a medi-pay. That's maintenance. That's not self-care. Self-care for me is my mind, my body. What am I doing to care for that, for my body, for my temple? That's self-care for me.
Woo! We just had this conversation today where someone told me getting their nails done in a massage. I said, for me, maybe for you, for me, that's not considered self-care. Mm-hmm. because if you're going out and I got to get my nails done, that's not self-care, right? Because you want to look nice. For me, that's not self-care. It's the deep. For me, it's the inner. Like you said, mind, body, spirit, where I like going to the library, things like that, where you have to shut up because I do so much talking throughout the week and the day that I just prefer silence. That's my favorite place in the world. I've traveled all over. The library is my favorite place to go because you can't talk. And my next goal is I'm looking to go to a monastery, spend a weekend there where you can't talk, you're praying, you're whatever it is you're doing, just to quiet because of the world that we're living in. Jasmine, why is it important that women support each other?
I think it's very important because at the end of the day, it's us. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village for a woman, to me, I feel like to get to her best self. Where I may lack, you're excellent at. You can help build me up. But I think that it's so important because you need that support. Sometimes you need that accountability partner. Sometimes you need that person just to, vent to. We get so used to doing things on our own and try to hold on this baggage and try to do everything on our own, then that's when we fall and we break. But if we would just humble ourselves sometimes and say, hey, girl, I got this idea, but I just can't figure it out. And you maybe get it just like that. It'll help us.
Why do you think Black women, because I've noticed this when I'm talking to white women compared to Black women, mm-hmm. we carry the word. For example, if there's anything that's going on in our community, we're the first one marching, okay? Yeah. We're the motherhood of everything, the mother hen of everything. Why is it, do you feel that we have to carry the weight of the world, that we can't ask for help?
I think it shows a sign of, in some women, I think it may show a sign of weakness. In regards to asking for help. But as far as always feeling like we have to be on the front line to help, that's what we're used to. We're used to being there and figuring it out and fixing it. Because I know for me personally, growing up, like I said, I was 14 years old and I was playing a role of a 25, 30-year-old woman. That's not ideal for a 14-year-old. So I've always had to be the fix it. And so I think it just comes second nature, for us.
What would you go back and tell your 3 stages? What would you tell your 14-year-old self, your 19-year-old self, and your 25-year-old self? So let's start with 14.
Okay. So I would tell my 14-year-old self, be a child. Be a child. Enjoy your childhood. I would tell my 19-year-old self, it's okay to fail. When I was told that I had a balance at FAMU, I should have went back home and just joined a college back home that was much cheaper, got a job. But how I was raised, I was raised to kind of have too much pride. So instead of me doing that, I stayed because I didn't want anyone to know that I failed. So I would tell my 19-year-old self, it's okay to fail. And, or it's when things happen, it doesn't make you a failure. You try, get back up, dust the stuff off, and you'll be okay. Now, my 24-year-old self, I would definitely say, you are worthy. When I was 24, I didn't have any self-worth. And that caused me to seek love and validation from individuals that wasn't even worthy of me. But I didn't know my worth. So I allowed them to dictate my worth, my happiness. So
now, where you are now, if you could, what would you tell your 50-year-old self? I know, right?
I'm proud of you, girl. You did it.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? It's so crazy. I told somebody, I said, I am 37 years old. It took for me to turn 36 for the light bulb to come all the way on. Around 35, we had the little dimmer and it was turning. 36, it was shining bright. And the things that I would accept, the things that I would allow when I was in my younger 30s, at 37 years old now, never. I tell people this, when you find your self-worth and you actually have self-love, you date different. You move so different because you know what you're worth and you're not going to tolerate anything.
Amen. So just listening to what you're saying, I love the stages of life. What would you tell someone? Because so many people want to jump into this entrepreneurship. What would you tell, knowing what you know now, what would you go back and tell yourself, whether it's a pitfall or whether it's an advice while you were you came up with this idea, I want to be an entrepreneur. What would you go back? What would you self-correct if you could?
Get a mentor. Get a mentor and pay to be in certain rooms. Pay to be in the room. That's very important. When I started my journey as a real estate investor, I made some costly experiences. Some that I'm still paying to this day. I didn't, one, know how to ask for help, and two, I didn't have anyone around me that could help. Because I was always the smartest one in the room.
When we know what that means, never be the smartest one in the room.
Listen, I'm a sponge now. I'm a sponge now. I took a trip to Africa last year. And at first, it was with a bunch of women I never met. And everybody's, wait, you going to South Africa with a group that you met on Facebook? Like, yeah. And it was a young lady. It was so crazy. She said when she first see me, she said that I had this like look on my face. And I was like, well, me? She was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm a sweetheart. She was like, you're not approachable at all.
Wow.
Really? And wow. I'm like, wow. But we became the best of friends. And I could pick up the phone to this day and call her and say, hey, this is the idea that I have. What do you think? What do you suggest? And without hesitation, she would definitely help. One thing I had to get used to is stop giving away so much free information. Okay, so here's the thing. I came up in an era where we had mentors, right? Think about it, 10, 15, 20 years ago, our mentors were not charging $15,000 for a masterclass. They wasn't doing that. They just genuinely wanted us to kind of, take us under their wing and be successful. What we owed them was success. Now
I'm paying it forward to someone else.
Right. And that is something I will say I struggle and I still struggle with because I have a kind heart. And if someone call and ask me, well, Jasmine, I really want to do this. And I'm sitting down and I'm going to give you $1 million worth of game.
Okay.
But you won't buy my t-shirt.
Get the pad and paper ready. Okay. You're going to drop some gems right now. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Now, because I worked in a male-dominated area mm-hmm. In healthcare with doctors, also I was raised by men, right? So I knew about mentors back then, right? So I've always had, when I got out of when I thrived and survived in my issues, then I started, getting mentors. Because right now I have like 6 mentors, right? In different principles. So I was always told that you can sit down, have a conversation with someone, but here goes the thing. I want to pick your brain. No problem. My consultation fee is. Because here's the thing. You have to eat. Mm-hmm. And I met this young lady, and I'm going to say, I met this young lady, and she's trying to hustle me and trying to, change my prices. This is what I told her. When you go to Chick-fil-A, it's the most expensive fast food when it comes to chicken, and all that kind of stuff. And it has gone up even since then. Chick-fil-A is expensive. I'm Chick-fil-A. Yes, I'm vegan, but I'm Chick-fil-A, and I give you a Chick-fil-A experience because out of all the restaurants, Chick-fil-A gives you one of the great customer services out there. Now, you can't go into Chick-fil-A and say you want to McDonald's charge X, Y, and Z. So why do you want to change my prices?
Absolutely.
It took me a long time to, like us, the education, the getting to be in certain rooms, the mentorship you had to pay for, the, and whatever work they gave you to do, the volunteering you had to do as well. Me, I had to do 4,000 hours, right? So people need to understand, they need to respect your time and your
Absolutely.
space. So, but as women, we're like, okay, and when I tell you I'm tight and right with my game, I'm like, oh no, you're not, and I don't come off nasty with it. I'm like, you know what? Sure, my consultation fee is, and you can call this number or go on here and book a consultation. Now, if you don't want to book a consultation, you have an attitude, I don't have a problem with you having an attitude, but not everything is free, right? You want my information, you want my connection, you want to come into my circle. Yep. This is how it works, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to eat, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to, you know what I'm saying? So you can't always. So my rule of thumb is I'll let you ask me 2 questions. They don't know this. They may know this now. 2 questions. Mm-hmm. The third one, consultation, because you want to not just walk away. You want to be, you know what I'm saying? You want to be, polite about it. But sometimes they go overboard. Then they want to say, well, that's too much money. You don't tell that to Mr. Chick-fil-A. Okay.
I feel like personal development is very important. And that's one thing I had to learn. Just like you have a budget for your hair and your nails, you need to have a budget for personal development as well. Now I have no problem. I have a consultation. Here is my consultation fee. You want to work with me for 8 weeks? This is my fee. You want to join a group? This is the fee. When I posted my video on TikTok, that was not the intent for it to do what it did. I had so many women like in my inbox, like, I need your help. I don't feel like I'm worthy of being loved or worthy of, being here anymore. And I spent 2 days on the phone with women for free, like talking to them, and to the point where I was like, Jasmine, but this is the thing. I have no problem helping someone. Like you said, you have your 2 questions, right? It was a young lady with what she shared to me. Ethically, I wouldn't have even felt comfortable taking her money because where she was mentally in that space. So, I'm okay with doing that, but I think we have to definitely understand that you have to pay for your personal development. And That's consultation. That's paying to be in the room. It's so important.
Well, I think here's the thing, what I agree with. When you're getting paid and you're getting paid well, there isn't anything wrong with meeting a person where they are. You know they can't pay it. You don't want to, and then mentally they're just so jacked up. So it's okay to like, you know what? This is one I'm gonna eat this L because people may think I'm taking this L now, but that L is gonna turn into a W because remember, someone helped us. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Before it became that kind of thing. So we have to have that nonprofit, that spirit, that philanthropy spirit to help someone, 2 people a year, whatever it is. And then you remind them to pay it forward and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely agree with that. Because at the end of the day, and it's so funny because my girlfriend's like, you on all platforms, but you got to talk about relationship because I don't understand how you married 34 years and you a Black woman, you a unicorn. And I remember people used to call people when my husband and I got married, the people around us, they're all divorced now. So, because I'm on all the platforms and she's like, I think people want to hear more about relationships as well. Yeah, plant-based, but they want to hear more. So that's one of the things I wanted to do, like collaborate with some women, someone who's single, someone who's dating, someone who's married, someone, me, I'd be married, another person who's divorced, and have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because Kevin Samuels, I think, ruined it for a lot of women. I understand his approach was in your face, but I think he broke a lot of spirits when he was doing his show. You know what I'm saying? And, unfortunately, he's not here anymore. But I think, I don't know what happened, if it's because of the virus, people were stuck together. Because think about it, you spend more time at work than you do at home. So now you're both looking at this person who you're with all day, every day until the lockdown was over. And you're like, oh, I don't want to be with this person. And he's like, I don't like you. Why am I even married to you? Because you're spending most of your time outside. So now you get to see. So I try to tell women, don't devalue yourself. Don't look at it as, don't look for potentials. I keep hearing women, he got a potential.
Oh, yes.
Don't look at any potentials. Look again, if I'm bringing the table, right? I don't have a problem bringing the table. I don't have any problem with my whoever is putting stuff on the table, because at the end of the day, the table is not good without the food. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay, and I'm okay with sharing what I have, but you have to show me that you got what I have. And I'm gonna say it. I'm not trying to go down there and trying to help bring it up. I'm too old for that right now. Okay. If I was a youngin', maybe, but I don't have time for that. If you're not on my level or above and we can grow, or you help elevate me to the next level, and that includes friends too.
Yeah, that's very important. And I know for me, before I started my healing journey, I had a thing. My mom used to say, you always bring home the wounded birds. I've always dated men that I had to bring up. I fell in love with their potential until I had a relationship where I seen his potential that he didn't even see in himself. I was trying to build him up so much that I was tearing myself down. So one day I looked myself in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. I had totally lost myself while trying to build this man. So now we say, yeah, we don't build a man up no more. We don't build a man. You
are not build a bear.
Not building no more bears. Now I will say this. I feel like if you come to me and you got your stuff together, you say, you know what, babe, like I've been on my job 10, 15 years, but this is just not my passion. My passion is to become a chef. Now I got you on that. Let's work together. This is your passion, fine. But in your 30s, you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. I can't help you with that.
Are you still living at home with mama?
I can't help you with that. I just can't. Yeah.
So what do you have? What are your products that you have out here? What products do you have?
So I have my shirt, Evolve or Evaporate. And I created Evolve or Evaporate when I was at my lowest point, one of my lowest points. And I felt like I was literally evaporating. I was no longer myself. And I knew it was time to evolve into the woman that I know I was supposed to be. So we have the Evolve Evaporate t-shirts. And then I have the 30 days to mindfulness activity workbook, something that I did when I was trying to kind of get out my head. And you always hear about mindfulness, but I'm like, I've never heard of that. So I kind of created a workbook of 30 days of mindfulness tips that I use during my process of healing, and sell that. So
we have so many. Where can they get your t-shirt? Because you said t-shirt. Where can they get your t-shirt? What's the website?
So it's actually on my if you go to my TikTok on my healing journey, it's on my link tree, because I don't have a website as of right now. It's down. We're trying.
That's okay. What is it? What is the TikTok? What is your the TikTok?
Her Healing Journey.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Her Healing Journeys.
Nowadays, people don't even need a website.
And that's the thing. So I had an old website, and my mentor was like, Jasmine, it's time to kind of step it up. And I was like, okay. So until we get that taken care of, we just created a link tree with all of the products that they will be able to purchase.
And it's at Her Healing Journey. I just put that in the link. You have just been. You're definitely someone that I would say, because I call anyone who's under 40, I call them youngins.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I call them youngins. And you have such an amazing story. You've gone through so much trauma and drama. And what I realized going through trauma myself is it's a lesson. We can't look at it as, back in the day, now we know we can't look at it as being a victim. We're a victor, and it's a lesson. Now, if we don't fix those drama stuff, you can drown in it, you suppress it, you can have anxiety, comes out anxiety, panic attacks, blood pressure issues. People don't understand how your emotions are tied to you, because I was watching something and they said, like, if you have pains all over your body, usually it's because you were inappropriately touched. They were saying, and because they did a study where this lady, they hypnotized her, and after they hypnotized her, they found out she was inappropriately touched because she was always complaining about aches and pains, right? Mm-hmm. So they brought her back to her childhood. So it's good now. I love the way we're living now, because there's a cure for everything. There's an answer for everything, especially spiritually. Yes. I like the fact that you bossed up and you went on a vacation with women, because that's what I'm doing on now. Met a whole bunch of women, and we're talking about from biking to hiking, mm-hmm. to swimming, to traveling, to, just zip lining, doing things, because I'm like, I want to be around other women too, not just have one group of women, just because I love being around estrogen, positive estrogen, mind you. And just doing something different, because I'm like you. Look, I can pack up, go on a plane, and don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going to land and make friends, because I can make friends wherever I am. So mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking to do. Miss T Lady 05 said, that is true. If you don't have anyone in your corner cheering you or encouraging you for growth, then what is their season that's true. What's their season in your path? We have to have cheerleaders. You can't do it by yourself. We have to have cheerleaders. We have to now go through our friendship Rolodex. Mm-hmm. I do it every year. I was a little bit late on one, but I definitely fixed that 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. You have to go through your friendship Rolodex to see if this is their season with you. It's okay. You may mourn, you may cry. It's okay. But if they're draining and if they're not adding spices into your life or your season, it doesn't make sense for them to be there, and vice versa. So don't be upset now when you're like, look, I don't think we can be friends. And if they say, look, girl, I was going to tell you the same thing. Don't be butthurt now. Don't be butthurt, because it works both ways. So I'm encouraging women to find women who sometimes you don't have to have a lot in common with. You may like to fly. They may like to drive. At the end of the day, as long as people are good people, mm-hmm. you know what I'm saying? If you're an entrepreneur, you definitely need more entrepreneur friends, because someone who works or retired don't understand what you're going through, right? So the fact that you are, you talking about women should support each other. What life lesson did you learn from one of your mentors that you would like to share? Yeah, we do that, honey, on this show. That's how bad we are. We make you go,
Yeah. Wow. Never, and I know it's an old saying, but she used to really get on me about this. Stop dimming your light when you go around other women. Now, the thing about that is, my friends used to tell me all the time, like we go out to the club and restaurants, you just own the room. You just own the room. And I didn't have to be half dressed. They would say it was my confidence when I was at the club or, in a setting like that. But then when I got in the room with other women, I didn't realize that I was dimming my light. And the problem that I had with that is I was born and raised in Milwaukee in one of the worst zip codes. Okay. Well, my mom put me into a school that was for the college bound. So I was too bougie for the block, but I was too ghetto for the school.
So you didn't fit in, really?
I didn't fit in anywhere. So the problem that I had was I would know what to do, because they would say, "Oh, well, you too bougie when you talk. You talk white." Because I know how to turn Ashley, but I can be Keisha too.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew how to turn it on and off. And then it was like I'll get around certain women and they were like, well, "You're not approachable." But I literally just didn't know how. So I would definitely say, never dim your light. Never dim your light.
Well, you said something, and I'm gonna say it here because I got my T-shirt that I printed that's called "I'm a little holy and I'm a little hood. I'm holy hood." Okay, holy hood. That's what I call it. Don't let this fool you.
I tell people this. I said, listen. I said I'm healing. I'm not healed. So you have to be careful how you approach me, because as I'm healing, my hands didn't go anywhere. Okay.
and that's one of the things I said I was going to do, the thing on TikTok when they talk about that healed, not healed. I'm healing, not healed. That's what I was going to do. That.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. I love that on TikTok. You are just, Jasmine, you are thebomb.com.
Thank you.
And just know that, God has something great in store for you. Of course, we're going to be knocked down, but the problem is, don't stay down. And when you're down, learn the lesson while you're down there, because there's a lesson to be taught while you're down there. Okay. So we're here to support anything that you're doing. We want to thank you for being, she's going to come back on, y'all, because I done asked her. Heck, I think I want to bring you on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I was supposed to have a healing journey retreat, a healing retreat in Johannesburg in June. But I've had like 4 women drop out because the economy is just crazy right now. Unfortunately, they lost their job. So you're going to see more of me, because even though this trip may not take place, this healing retreat, but I want to make sure we get it out there twice a year. We're going to do one that's international and then one that's domestic. Mm-hmm. So whenever you want me on the platform, I'm more than welcome to come and talk about it and share some healing tips. And
definitely, because I want to do a collab with you on one of the shows where we're sharing stuff with other women, not an interview, where we're sharing healing, stuff and things like that. So Gloria said, work in progress. T Lady 05 said, I was always told you never lost a friend you never had. Preach it. Preach it. And there's
one thing I say,
I
always say this: when it's time to grow, everybody can go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. It hurts for a while, but it's okay, because then that shows you who people are. And sometimes you got to take a pause with people. You got to take, because sometimes you just need to go within and say, you know what? Because I had a friend, she was going through so much toxic stuff that she said, you know what? I'm bringing too much my toxic stuff to you, Jackie. You're an empath, and I know it's draining you. Let me step away. She stepped away like 5 years, picked up the phone and called me. And when we were talking, her life changed dramatically. She got rid of that buster, and her life changed dramatically. She's doing wonderful things. She's just a pleasure to be around, because I would look at the phone and like, oh God, what now? So now I don't have any friends on here that I say, oh God, what now? Because if I have to have a what now friend, no, ma'am. Hi, Miss Matthews. If I got to have me a what now friend, you don't need to be in my phone. So if it's not like, yay, I'm telling you, if I see that phone, so I may have missed a few people on here, but if I did miss them, and when I see them calling, and it's like, what now? Hello, nice knowing you. Bye. Have a great life. See ya. See you in heaven. That kind of thing. So we want to thank you for tuning in Y'all tune into the show tomorrow. We're going to have an amazing, amazing guest. And I think it's this week sometime too. We're going to be interviewing the marketing VP of Goodwill. This sister's fabulous. We've been just having great conversations with people. So again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Network. I just got a text, and my text was, I did not do my housekeeping. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Jasmine, subscribe to our channel. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe, like, comment, share, and subscribe. So without further ado, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Yeah, Miss Matthews, you got to rewind it. Yeah, you can rewatch the show. Let me tell y'all, before y'all get at me, let me tell y'all. Miss Jasmine said, Jackie, the show starts at 6 o'clock. Let's wait till 6. I'm like, girl, your story is too good. We got to start at like 5:50 or something like that. We started early. I won't ever do that again because I know my women come on religiously at 6 o'clock, and it's not fair. You have to rewind. So her whole persona got to me and made me do this, even though she told me don't, but I just had to do it. So again, and y'all, be on the lookout for our cooking show, Chopping It Up with Jacqueline, our vegan cooking show. We're going to talk about spices. I'm going to be doing some unboxing of stuff. When I tell you I got this going on, I just cannot wait. So we're going to be doing unboxing. We're going to be talking about relationship because y'all know I was married forever and a day. I got married like at 2 years old and stuff. Lord have mercy. So we're going to talk about some amazing things that women want to talk about, because this is a safe space to talk about things. The only thing we ain't talking about is politics, but we'll talk about everything else. All right, y'all. Nice seeing y'all. Have a wonderful week. And remember, have a terrific Tuesday, wonderful Wednesday, turnaround Thursday, fearless Friday or fabulous Friday, a self-care Saturday, and a soothing Sunday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.